When we reach our 60s, many of us begin to notice that our muscles are not as strong as they once were. Simple tasks such as carrying grocery bags, climbing a few steps, or even walking through the market can suddenly feel tiring. This is the natural result of aging, when the body gradually loses muscle mass if it is not properly nourished. To address this, more and more people turn to quick and convenient solutions. One of the most common is protein powder, sold in packets or tubs, often advertised with promises of maintaining muscle strength and speeding up recovery. It is easy to find someone after a light workout who skips a full meal and instead chooses a protein shake, believing it will quickly restore their energy. But the real question is whether this is a safe choice for older adults, or if behind the short-term benefits, there are risks that many of us have not fully considered. In today's video, we will take an objective look at both sides. Protein powders can bring genuine benefits when used correctly, but they can also create health risks if they are overused or if the wrong product is chosen. More importantly, we will discover how to use them in a way that complements, rather than replaces, the natural foods that remain the safest and most reliable sources of nutrition. If you find this topic helpful, remember to like the video, share it with friends so that more people can benefit, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. And I would love to hear from you. Do you currently use protein powder? Or have you ever thought about trying it to protect your muscles? Share your experience in the comments, because your story could inspire others. As the years pass, our bodies go through a process known as sarcopenia, which refers to the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. Research shows that after the age of 60, the body can lose 1 to 2% of its muscle mass each year if the right care is not taken. This loss makes walking more difficult, increases the risk of falls, and can even turn simple activities such as opening a jar or lifting something light into a challenge. In this situation, protein becomes the foundation for maintaining and rebuilding muscle. Yet in reality, many older adults struggle to eat enough protein from daily meals. Appetite often decreases, chewing becomes more difficult, and digestion is less efficient. These changes make it harder to eat larger amounts of protein-rich foods, such as meat or fish. On top of that, some people have medical conditions that require dietary restrictions, which further reduce their protein intake. This is where protein powder begins to appear as a convenient alternative. Just a few scoops mixed into water or milk can create a protein-rich drink without the need for heavy chewing or difficult digestion. For someone who feels uncomfortable eating meat or fish, a shake can seem like a simple way to top up nutrition without causing bloating or discomfort. Many people even use it as a mid-morning or post-walk snack, especially after light activities such as yoga or gardening, because it feels easy and quick. The popularity of protein powders is also fueled by marketing. Packages often show images of strong muscles, slogans about slowing aging, and promises of increased endurance in just a few weeks. These messages convince many that protein powder is the golden key to preventing muscle loss with age. Still, it is important to view this interest with understanding. It makes perfect sense that people over 60 would seek simple, convenient solutions as their bodies begin to change. And it is true that protein powders can be beneficial when used correctly. But at the same time, we cannot ignore the possible risks that come with misuse. Now that we understand why so many people turn to protein powder, the next step is to take a closer look at what real benefits it can bring when used wisely, so we can distinguish between genuine strengths and marketing exaggeration. The reason protein powders attract so much attention is not only their convenience. At the core is the fact that protein itself is essential for preserving and rebuilding muscle, and powders offer an easily digestible way to get it. One of the clearest benefits is their role in supporting muscle synthesis. When we consume protein, the body breaks it down into amino acids, which are the building blocks used to repair and rebuild muscle fibers. In older adults, this process naturally slows, making recovery more difficult. However, studies show that when protein is consumed in the right amounts, especially soon after light activity such as walking or yoga, muscle rebuilding improves significantly. This means stronger muscles for longer, along with a reduced risk of weakness and falls. Another advantage is easier absorption compared with traditional high-protein foods. Eating steak or chicken can be difficult for someone with dental problems or slower digestion. Protein powders, especially whey, are processed into a form that the body can absorb more quickly, reducing digestive strain while still delivering the necessary amino acids. Protein shakes also provide indirect benefits beyond muscle. Stable muscle mass helps regulate blood sugar and maintain a healthy weight. Studies have linked higher muscle mass with a lower risk of type 2 diabetes and better physical function in older adults. Flexibility is another strength. As appetites shrink with age, it becomes difficult to reach daily protein needs from food alone. A single serving of protein powder can provide 20 to 25 grams of protein, equivalent to a large portion of meat or fish. Without requiring a heavy meal, this can be especially useful for those recovering from illness, struggling with appetite, or simply needing a quick boost after light exercise. Protein powder may also reduce feelings of soreness after activity. When the body has enough amino acids available, muscle fibers repair more effectively, which means less lingering pain and more motivation to stay active. And we all know that gentle daily activity is one of the best medicines for healthy aging. Of course, these benefits depend on correct use. A serving of protein powder taken with a meal or after light exercise is likely to give the best results. Pairing it with healthy carbohydrates such as fruit or oats helps the body use it more efficiently and reduces the strain on the kidneys. In short, protein powder can act as a helpful tool. When used with care, it supports the body in overcoming the nutritional challenges of aging, offering a simple way to top up protein intake. But like any tool, when it is misused or overused, what was meant to help can become a burden. This is why, after recognizing the benefits, we must also take an honest look at the other side of the story, the potential risks of protein powders when used excessively or when the wrong products are chosen. Protein powder can indeed bring benefits, but that does not mean more is always better. In fact, quite a number of older adults have faced health issues because they trusted protein powder too much and used it incorrectly. To understand this clearly, we can look at three main categories of risk the strain it may place on the body: the unnecessary additives often included in products, and the danger of nutritional imbalance. The first concern is the extra load placed on the kidneys. After protein is digested, it produces byproducts that must be filtered and excreted by the kidneys. In healthy young adults, this is not a problem. But after the age of 60, kidney function naturally declines to some degree. If too much protein is added, especially from daily shakes, the kidneys are forced to work harder, which can lead to fatigue or, in more serious cases, declining kidney function. Research has consistently warned that individuals with even mild kidney disease face higher risks when protein intake exceeds recommended amounts. There have been many real-life examples. Some older adults drink 2 or 3 servings of protein powder each day, hoping to rebuild muscle faster. Instead of feeling stronger, they begin to experience bloating, fatigue, and abnormal kidney test results. This is clear evidence that misuse can backfire, particularly when the kidneys are no longer as resilient as they were in youth. The second issue lies in additives and added sugars. Not all protein powders on the market are pure. Many contain sweeteners, flavorings, or cheap fillers to reduce production costs. Younger people may be able to process and eliminate some of these ingredients, but with age, metabolism slows down. Consuming excessive additives can raise inflammation, cause bloating or digestive discomfort, and even affect heart health. What looks like harmless flavoring or sweetener can become a silent troublemaker if we are not careful about reading labels. Another risk, one that often goes unnoticed, is nutritional imbalance. Some people believe that drinking protein shakes alone is enough for the day, so they skip regular meals. The problem is that real food not only provides protein, but also vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants nutrients that powders cannot fully replace. Depending too heavily on shakes can leave the body short of other essentials that support muscle and bone. For instance, missing calcium and vitamin D from dairy or green vegetables may weaken bones, undermining the overall goal of protecting strength. There are also risks tied to poor timing of use. Some people replace dinner with a protein shake and then go straight to bed. This can lead to indigestion, restless sleep, or even higher nighttime blood sugar if the powder contains added sugars. Instead of helping recovery, this practice works against it. What all of this shows is that the greatest risk of protein powder does not come from the product itself, but from how it is used. Overuse, poor product choice, or complete replacement of meals can easily turn protein powder from a helpful aid into a burden. Still, this does not mean we need to avoid it entirely. The real key is choosing wisely and using it in moderation, guided by genuine needs. And that brings us to our next focus: how to select the right type of protein powder that is both safe and suitable for adults over 60. After discussing the risks of misuse, the most pressing question becomes how to choose a product that is truly safe and beneficial. The market is crowded with flashy options, each claiming to boost strength, fight aging, or speed up recovery. For those over 60, it can be difficult to separate scientific evidence from marketing promises. But if we take it step by step, it is possible to find the right product without turning protein supplementation into a gamble. The first step is to look carefully at the ingredient list. A high-quality powder usually has a short, clear label with protein as the main component. In contrast, if the label is long and filled with unfamiliar chemical names, artificial sweeteners, colorings, or excessive fillers, that product is unlikely to be the best choice. Older adults, in particular, should avoid powders with added sugars, which raise the risk of diabetes, weight gain, and inflammation, exactly the problems we want to avoid when protecting muscle health. The second factor is the source of the protein. The three most common are whey, casein, and plant-based proteins. Whey, derived from milk, is absorbed quickly and works best right after exercise to give muscles a ready supply of amino acids. Casein, also from milk, digests more slowly and is often recommended at night to provide protein steadily during sleep. Plant-based proteins, such as soy, pea, or brown rice, are easier to tolerate for those who cannot digest dairy well or prefer to limit animal products. For older adults, the choice depends not only on theoretical benefits, but also on digestive comfort and existing health conditions. Someone who tolerates milk well may find whey useful, while someone prone to bloating or lactose intolerance might do better with plant-based options. It is also important to check the protein content per serving. A reasonable range is 20 to 25 grams per serving. Products that fall far below this may be diluted with fillers, while those that claim 40 or 50 grams per scoop are not only unnecessary, but may also stress the kidneys. At this stage of life, the goal is not the more, the better, but rather the right amount to complement a balanced diet. Another crucial but often overlooked detail is safety testing and certification. There have been reports of protein powders contaminated with heavy metals such as lead or cadmium. These substances accumulate in the body and pose serious risks, especially for older adults. That is why it is essential to choose products with clear origins, independent testing, and trusted certifications. Personal lifestyle and needs should also guide the choice. If the goal is simply to add a small boost at breakfast, a simple plant-based powder with few additives may be enough. If the routine includes regular walks or yoga, a whey protein shake after exercise may work better. The right product is the one that fits comfortably into daily life without causing strain. Finally, it is important to listen to your body. If you notice bloating, indigestion, sleep disturbance, or any unusual symptoms after trying a powder, take it as a warning sign. Do not force yourself to get used to it. Health is highly individual, and in many cases, stopping or switching to a different type will be the better option. In short, choosing a safe protein powder after 60 does not have to be complicated. The essentials are clear ingredients, a protein source that matches your needs, transparent safety standards, and a product your body tolerates well. When chosen wisely, protein powder can be a helpful addition, but it should remain exactly that, an addition and not a complete replacement for natural whole foods. And one last point must be emphasized. If you have an existing health condition, particularly kidney or heart disease, using protein powders without medical guidance may create more risks than benefits. In such cases, the first step is not to buy a tub of powder, but to consult your doctor. Only with professional approval does protein supplementation become truly safe and effective. Having understood how to choose the right product, our next question is about dosage and timing. Even the best powder can work against us if it is used in the wrong way. So in the following section, we will explore how much protein powder is enough, and how older adults can use it wisely to gain benefits without harming their health. One of the most common questions I hear from older adults is, if I've already chosen the right protein powder, how much should I take each day for it to actually be good for me? At first, this sounds simple, but the answer is very important, because both the benefits and the risks depend on the amount. Too little will not deliver results, while too much can overload the body, especially the kidneys. Modern nutrition research suggests that older adults need about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. For someone weighing 60 kilograms, that works out to roughly 60 to 70 grams of protein daily to maintain muscle and prevent loss. This number refers to the total from all sources of both natural foods and protein powders, not just from supplements. That means protein powder should be seen as an addition, not the main source. A typical scoop provides about 20 to 25 grams of protein. If someone is already eating eggs, dairy, fish, or beans, then adding 1 serving of powder is usually enough to meet the requirement without going over. Drinking 2 or 3 shakes a day is rarely necessary and, if continued long-term, could even be harmful. Timing also matters. For those who take part in light activity, such as walking, yoga, or lifting light weights, a serving of protein powder right after exercise gives the body the building blocks it needs to repair muscle fibers quickly. On the other hand, if physical activity is minimal, the shake can be used as a snack between meals, ideally after breakfast or lunch when digestion is most active. It is better to avoid drinking it right before bed if you tend to feel bloated or have trouble sleeping, as it can make rest less comfortable. Another key point is to pair protein powder with other foods instead of drinking it alone. Mixing it with low-fat milk, fruit, or oats helps the body absorb nutrients in a balanced way, reduces pressure on the kidneys, and adds vitamins, minerals, and fiber. This kind of combination allows the powder to do its job without pushing the body out of balance. The most practical approach is to keep protein from natural foods such as eggs, fish, lean meat, beans, and dairy, and then add 1 serving of powder a day if it feels difficult to reach the target through meals alone. This method is safe, effective, and avoids unnecessary strain. And above all, remember that protein powder is not magic. It cannot replace real food, but it can round out a meal plan when used wisely. With the right amount, taken at the right time, and paired with gentle activity, protein powder can become a supportive companion, helping muscles after 60 stay stronger, ache less, and give you confidence in your daily movements. But when overused, or when balance is ignored, the benefits can quickly turn into risks. Moderation and listening to your body remain the most important keys. We have now taken a clear, balanced look at protein powder for adults over 60. In the beginning, the growing interest in this product made sense, because aging naturally leads to muscle loss, while meals often provide less protein than needed. When used properly, protein powder does offer real benefits. It delivers amino acids quickly, supports muscle repair, shortens recovery time, and helps those with limited appetite maintain strength. But at the same time, there are risks if it is overused or the wrong type is chosen. Too much protein can strain the kidneys. Added sugars and fillers can increase inflammation, and replacing real meals entirely can leave the body short of vital vitamins and minerals. The solution lies in smart selection. A safe powder should have a simple ingredient list, a clear protein source, and transparent safety certification. For anyone with chronic health conditions, especially kidney or heart disease, it is essential to seek medical advice first rather than trying it on your own. And most importantly, protein powder should remain a supplement, a small support alongside a diet built on whole, natural foods. The final takeaway is clear. Protein powder is not bad, but it is not a miracle either. Used in moderation, matched to your needs, and chosen with care, it can be a helpful tool. But lasting health will always rest on natural food, steady activity, and balanced living. If you found today's video helpful, please like and share it so more people can learn. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss future content. And I want to leave you with a question. Do you see protein powder as essential, or just as a backup solution when meals fall short? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your perspective might inspire someone else who is also navigating health after 60.